This video is going to have a look at rhythms. Now when we talk about rhythms, we're talking about how plants and animals and microbes change throughout the day and throughout different seasons. So we're going to have a look at what biological rhythms are and photoperiodism. Now, biological rhythms, which occur over 24 hours, are called circadian rhythms. These can result from three different things: chemical processes such as hormone release, physiological such as body temperature, and behavioural patterns such as sleeping and eating. Now, these are usually controlled internally but influenced externally, which means they're controlled within the body but they're based on things that happen outside. There are two different types of circadians which we're going to look at, which are the things that affect humans and animals and the things that affect plants. So the four ones you need to know for the exam are how circadian rhythms affect sleep, urine production, the stomata opening, and flowering of plants. If we first of all look at sleep, it's to do with light intensity from the eyes. If there's not enough light coming through, the body produces a hormone called melatonin, which makes people sleepy. Likewise, when the person goes to sleep, the body produces a hormone called the ADH, or the antidiuretic hormone. This reduces the amount of urine produced overnight, for obvious reasons. In a plant, the hormones control the stomata opening and closing. Now, the stomatas open in the day to let out carbon dioxide, to let in carbon dioxide and to let out oxygen. And then at night they shut to stop water loss. And then finally on this section, flower opening. Now, a hormone controls whether the flower opens or shuts or not. And you would think this is to do with day or night, and you're right, but different plants react in different ways. So for example, the tobacco flowers only open at night because they're pollinated by moths. The moths only come out at night. Most other plants flower in the day. Okay, the next section is going to have a look at plants and how they react to changes in light in the day. This is a process called photoperiodism, and these are changes to the day lengths, so responses to the changing day lengths. So you might think this is just to do with flowering of the plant, but it's more to do with how the length of the day changes from winter, summer, spring and autumn. Apologies for that. Right, so you would think in the day flowers will start to flower, and that's because of the sunlight. And then at night they shut. But what this doesn't explain is why some plants only flower in the summer and some plants only flower in the winter. And I'm going to explain that to you now. And it's all down to how much light the plant needs to survive. So many species in the winter, when the days are short, die out, but their seeds survive. So for example, spinach needs 14 hours of light to flower and to survive. Without that, it won't flower. So therefore that needs summer conditions. On the other hand, the poinsettia needs 14 hours or more of dark to flower. So therefore the gist is that some plants only germinate when there's enough light in a 24-hour cycle. So shorter day plants such as primroses only flower on short days. So for example, autumn and spring. And the reason for this is it protects themselves from the frost, and it helps when they've got the correct insects to help pollinate them. So some insects are only around in winter, autumn, spring, and therefore they'll learn to pollinate around those times. So it's not just to do with light as well. So the key two things from this: photoperiodism is how plants react to the changing day lengths. It's to do with how much light there is in the day, and the plants develop to do with what insects are around and how much light there is to pollinate them. The end.